Okay, right now we are processing live in the YouTube channel of Wrong International, and we will be started soon after we are progressing it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, can you hear my voice?
Okay, your voice is clearly. You can start right
Okay.
now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please allow me introduce myself. My name is Jian Lee, and I'm as the Master of Ceremony of this event, Indonesia-Cambodia Youth Initiative Program. And now we are free at the first session of this program, and we'll talking about ocean issues. So to all participants, can prepare yourself and turn off your audio, and maybe you can turn on your video, and we can interact each other. And also, on behalf of Ruang International, we would like to say thank you to all speakers that present today. The first from uh, Mr. Dr. Ferdinand Robert Siahaan as the keynote speakers of this webinar, first session webinar. Thank you for coming, Mr. Ferdinand. We so happy to invite you here. And also for the second speaker, come from Cambodia. Uh, that is
Mr.
there is
Changon.
here. Yeah, Changon, Mr. Changon. It's so difficult to say it. I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Changon, and also there is Mr. Yuri, Yuri Romero. Okay, thank you for coming and for your availability to join as speakers, one of the speakers in this webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indonesia-Cambodia Youth Initiative Program, or ICYIP, is an international program organized by Ruang International involving two countries between Indonesia and Cambodia. to increase youth awareness of domestic issues in their respective countries as well as regional issues. In addition, it also hoped that this activity will increase interaction and communication in Indonesian and Cambodian youth, and also for the international youth as general, and then strengthen the relations and build networking for the youth of the two countries and internationally. ICYIP provides a platform for Indonesian and Cambodian youth to perform and connect with each other so that there are more opportunities to work together in the future, both bilaterally and internationally. ICYIP consists of 10 sessions with 10 issues, 10 speakers, and 10 keynote speakers come from government or academician or researcher side. And for the first session, we will talking about the threat of plastic waste for the future of the ocean. Especially today, we celebrate the International Ocean Day. So we're thankful to all the speakers can be here to deliver their substantial perspective research for us. Hopefully, the presentation material and discussion results of this webinar that we get from this from all the speakers implement to promoting youth awareness about these issues. Youth as an agent of change need to contribute, take a role, and also make an impact. Finally, I am Gianli Manogensa. On behalf of Ruang International, would like to say have a nice discussion for this afternoon. Thank you. Okay, I give this to Nave.
Okay, thank you, Mr. for your proposed this webinar in during COVID-19 pandemic. If even we can go out, we can go to meet in the physical or in a person. We can discuss or we can promote our use via the social media and via the Zoom meeting as well. And right now, our webinar will be start. The first, I want to introduce for our speaker for detail. The first speaker is Dr. Verbinan Roberto. Dr. Verbinan Roberto, he's a lecturer and a researcher in the international relation and with expertise in environmental democracy. And he did undergraduate at the International Relations Department in universities in Indonesia. And currently he is a Dean of Faculty of Social and Political Sciences. And welcome for Dr. Ferdinand Roberto. And the second speaker, we have Mr. Yuri Romero. Mr. Yuri Romero, he works with apparatus worldwide to Indonesia in 2007 and 2001 as operation manager of AWW BUDP AO collaboration. And currently, he works with organizations that focus on nature and cultural heritage preservation, community for maritime study Indonesia. And also, he has skill related sustainable development and environmental education. And the last speaker, welcome for Mr. Ho Chang-un. Mr. Ho Chang-un, he is a former economics student at one university in Cambodia. And right now, he is a founder and president executive at Krill Cambodia. that working on environmental issues. And welcome for Mr. Ho Chae-ngun. And the next, I would like to invite Dr. Webinand to have a presentation. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, Nave, for the opportunities given to me to present my ideas. And I would like also to welcome Yuri Romero and Hor Changorn. Nice to meet you in this Zoom meeting. So today is a very interesting topic. We are talking about a very urgent problem: plastic waste in the ocean. Yeah, this is a very urgent problem, and I really appreciate this discussion, because we need to craft and deliver concrete and effective solution in mitigating this issue. So I'm very happy to present my ideas, and I am hoping that I expect that we will have a discussion and response about these ideas, also delivered by Howard Changorn and Yuri Romero. And we can hopefully can collaborate in working to solve this issue. Now let's start the presentation. Thank you, Janli. So I would like thank you, Nave. So Nave has introduced me. Yes, I am a lecturer in next slide, please. I'm a lecturer in international study program, international relations study program in Universitas Kristen Indonesia. So if you are, we are very happy if we can establish cooperation further. And I'm focusing on environmental issue. I have wrote 2 books. One of them is Politik Lingkungan Indonesia, Teori dan Studi Kasus. I'm teaching environmental politics in also in Faculty of Social and Political Science. I also wrote some articles, and I'm a blogger. Please visit my blog, because I wrote some thoughts and ideas in regarding environmental issue in my blog. So thank you. That's my introduction. We can go to the next slide. So we have a global challenge regarding plastic waste in the oceans. 8 million tons of plastic leaks into oceans, and we already find them. Yuri Romero is Indonesian, so you know, if you go to the Indonesian coastal areas, it's easy to find the plastic. Yeah, I'm also swimming. I'm going to some coastal areas in Jakarta, and it's not difficult to find the plastic waste. Yeah. Even in the tourist area, it's easy. So there are so many documentary movies right now highlighting the presence of plastic waste in Indonesia and in many other countries, and Indonesia has a very it's very urgent to tackle this plastic in Indonesia, because it's very evident. Yeah? And it is estimated that in 2050 there will be more plastic than fish in our oceans. Yeah. It's tangible, it's concrete, and it's easy to see. And up to 80% of all litter in ocean is made of our plastic. What is the danger of plastic? We already know that plastic is very, very hard to decompose. It needs 150 years to decompose for one plastic bottles. And we use 1 million plastic drinking bottles purchased every minute. So imagine that my grandson will see my plastic bottles 30 years to come. He will come to me and say, this is your plastic bottle, Dad. The same to many parents all over the world. Our legacy is plastic. It's shameful when we know that our legacy is plastic waste in the ocean. So this is a very urgent problem, and it's not only national, it's a global problem, and United Nations already delivered a very comprehensive plan to solve this issue. Now, I would like to focus on Indonesia. We can go to the next slide. I would like to focus on Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia is the second. Wait for a minute. My laptop is depleting. When I focus Indonesia, of course, our attention goes to the national capital city of Indonesia, Jakarta. Jakarta produces 6,000 million tons per day. Okay, per day. So it's a very big number because we have around 10 to 15 million people in Jakarta. And it's very, very expensive to process the waste because we have to pay the truck driver, we have to pay for the technology, we have to pay for the environmental costs for the neighborhood. It's estimated 46,000 US dollars. It's a big number. The more dangerous issue is that the capacity of waste container, the capacity of waste processing place is now reaching to the maximum level. The maximum capacity is 49 million, and now it's now in the current today is 39 million tons in the Bantar Gebang. So we have 10 millions more, and if in the upcoming months or in the upcoming years we already have these 10 millions, so Jakarta people don't have any more place to dump and send their waste. Imagine if Jakarta don't have place to throw their waste. Yeah, this is a very urgent problem actually for Jakarta and Indonesian government. The national capital have to find the most concrete and soon and very fast solution regarding their waste. And we know when people don't throw their waste to the official waste processing facilities, they will throw the waste to the river. Many people throw their waste to the river, and that's why Indonesia have many polluted rivers, including Citarum and Brantas. It's a international issue. Two river in Indonesia that has a lot of waste, Citarum and Sungai Brantas River. Brantas River, according to the research, is one of the most polluted river in the world. Now the logic is this: if the river contain a lot of waste, plastic waste, the river will end up in the ocean. So why there are many plastic waste in the ocean? Because we don't have clean and manageable river. This is why there are so many waste in the ocean, because we don't work on our river effectively. So in the end, Indonesia is the second biggest polluter of plastic waste in the ocean. Yeah. After China. After China. So the question right now is what the government, what the corporation, what the civil society should do in overcoming this issue. The first thing we should do, next slide, please, is changing our mindset, changing our paradigm. Our paradigm and our mindset today is a linear economy. Linear economy means that we make and we produce our goods, we consume our goods, and then we dispose it. The end. It finished at that point. We manufacture plastic bottles, chair, bags, straws, computers. After we finish use it, we make it in the dump, in the waste processing facilities. Finish at that point. It's a linear economy, and it's our mindset today. It's the economy today. So what we should do is we have to change our mindset. Our mindset should be changed to circular economy. What is circular economy? Circular economy is, next slide please, is a mimic of our natures. It means that what we have produced should be consumed. The focus is recycling, reusing. So after we use our straws, after we use our bags, our laptop, we need to find ways in order to use them back. We have less goods that will go to the waste processing facilities. We know 3R, reuse, reduce, and recycling. That's our strategy. That's supposed to be our mindset. That's supposed to be our paradigm in our economy right now. If we don't change our mindset, if we don't change our paradigm, whatever the strategy, whatever the policy will be useless. This is something that is very, very crucial regarding plastic waste in our ocean, in overcoming plastic waste in our ocean, changing the mindset. Now, the second thing is our policy. What should be done to translate this circular economy to the reality? One of the proposals that in our table is biomass power plant. Of course, there are many solutions in our table, yeah, such as changing our plastic into the decomposed facilities, like our straws, from plastic straws to the paper straws. We are changing our bottles from plastic bottles to seaweed bottles. Everything. There are so many solutions in the tables right now. But what I want to bring in this forum is an idea to make the waste into energy. Next slide. Next slide, please. So the idea is to have biomass power plant to change the waste into the energy. So the waste is not just waste, but it translated into its change into energy. And Indonesian government try to implement this idea by issuing presidential regulation number 35 in 2018 concerning waste management into electricity. And we also have presidential regulation number 59 in 2017 concerning SDGs, yeah, in goal 12, responsible production and consumption. So in this presidential regulation, government tried to stimulate more biomass power plant. The logic of biomass power plant is actually very simple. So the waste coming to the waste processing facilities, it will be processed by certain kinds of bacteria and certain kind of chemistry, and it will be used to combustion for the generator to fire to generate fires and heat to the generator for, and in the end it will produce electricity. So that's kind of biomass power plant, changing the waste from waste to electricity. And there are there are two government that already implement this, Jakarta and Surabaya. They already have biomass power plant facilities, and I will try to compare uh, Jakarta and Surabaya. Next slide, please. So this is a very big city, two big cities in Indonesia, and Jakarta and Surabaya try to overcome the waste building by building this biomass power plant. Yeah. In Jakarta, we have Bantar Gebang biomass power plant, and it is inaugurated in 2019. If you look at my slide, it is actually a small amount of electricity. It's only 700 kilowatt. Compared to Surabaya, it's 9 megawatt. It's very small actually. But one thing I want to highlight is that this electricity will be distributed to the surrounding community for free, for free. So one thing that many people enjoy from this biomass power plant is that they will receive electricity for free. We know that biomass power plant, has negative effect, such as the air, the smell. So the compensation is that the surrounding community will receive free electricity. This is a feedback for the society for the biomass power plant in Jakarta. In Surabaya, it's different. It's not social project, but it's a reaching for profit, yeah, business project, because it's 9 megawatt. It's a big number. So Benowo biomass power plant working with PLN, the company that distribute the electricity, and they will distribute the electricity to 5,585 households, which is a big number. So hopefully in 25 and 30 years, the cost and the capital will be returned. This is a business project. So you see the comparison here. Jakarta is more for social and environmental issue, and Surabaya is looking for integrating economic, business, and environmental issue. Which one is effective? We cannot know yet because it's still early. It's too early. It's 2019 and 21. Now, but if we look at other countries, next slide, we know that many countries already have this biomass power plant. For example, France, England, and Sweden. They have a lot of biomass power plant producing electricity and try to overcome the waste issue. From my experience also in Sweden, many areas and many local government there are happy with this biomass power plant because they have a solution to overcome the waste in that area. And because of these opportunities, Jakarta government tried to build another biomass power plant with a bigger capacity, with bigger output, working with Finnish corporation. Now, the problem is still, we have a lot of problem to tackle and to overcome. The price is still not profitable. So this is a question whether government want to work a business corporation, a business community. If they want to work with business communities, we need to settle about this price, the problem of price. The second problem that we also have to discuss is about the paradigm and the mindset is still not changing. Yeah? It seems that many people still throwing their waste without any throwing their waste to the streets, and they don't implement that reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this is still a problem of paradigm and mindset. So in one side we have solution, but in another side we need more contribution and participation, especially from business communities and from societies. Yeah, without any investment and participation from business community, without any serious participation from society in implementing 3R, our ocean will be full of plastic. So that's how I conclude my presentation, that this solution, of course, brings some possible positive ideas, but of course, there are also questions regarding effectiveness. And this is something I would like to invite response and feedback from speakers and from audience, how to make these ideas and solution become more effective. In that way, I would like to close my presentation for a while. Uh, I would like to give the forum back to the moderator. Thank you so much. No, Nafi.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Doctor, for your fruitful sharing in your session. And I have one question to deliver to Doctor. Doctor, I want to ask you, what is the negative impact from the people that they give something, the plastic, to the ocean, and what are the negative effects back to the people? I think many people, they have affected by the plastic wash, because he gives some the plastic into the water, into the sea, into the ocean as well. So I want to ask you, what are the negative impact after they do like this?
Thank you, no, Nafi. So I already find a research showing that the presence of plastics in our ocean um, will lead to the presence of plastics in our body. How? How? Because the plastic that comes to the ocean will be eaten by the fish. The fish, the fish eat the plastic because they think that it's their food, so they eat the plastic. So when the fish eat the plastic and we catch the fish, we eat the fish, it means that the plastic is accumulated in our body. So actually, there are many research showing that we have a lot of plastic presence in our body, Navi. That's the first. The second, of course, we are destroying the habitat of fish and underwater living. So this is actually a very crucial, because when we're talking about habitat of fish, habit of the biodiversity of the sea, when we endanger their life, it means we are threatened by the threat of extinction of many sea creatures. Yeah, this is something we have to prevent. Yeah? There are so many fish that threaten to be extinct. Imagine, Nafi, if there are, the fish in our ecosystem extinct, it means that all of the biodiversity, all of the ecosystem will be in danger. Will be in danger. Yeah. I got a lot of report from the fishermen. I've talked to many fishermen in Jakarta, in Bali. They're saying that the population of fish now are decreasing, and they're blaming for the plastic. They're blaming on how we do over exploitation of the fish. Yeah. I'm afraid, Nafi, one day we will not have any fishermen. It's something evident in our future. We will not have any fishermen because there are no more fish in the ocean. We are doing over exploitation of fish, and we are killing the fish by our ways. So that's two things that I think a very major problem. First, when we have a lot of plastic in the ocean, it comes to us by our water, by our fish. It comes to us. It accumulated in our body. Second, we are killing our nature. We are killing the fish. We are killing a lot of a beautiful creature in the sea. So that's a very urgent issue, I think, Navi.
Okay, Doctor, thank you for your great answer, and we hope all participants can get your fruitful answer for in your session. At the next, I would like to invite Mr. Ho Chang-won for your presentation. Welcome, Mr. Ho Chang-won. Mr. Ho Chang-won, I cannot hear. You can.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm trying to share my screen, but cannot share right now. Like someone is sharing the screen, so I cannot share.
Mr. Chinli, you can allow to share your.
Okay. Thank you. So thank you so much for your invitation, and thank you everyone that joined in this time. So I am Ho Chang-won, the full name, but you can call me short name, more easy, like Mr. Chai, more convenient. So I work for the environment about 3 to 4 years already. We can't say to 4 because of the COVID cut our time 1 year already. And we are happy to be part in this event. So next slide. In our slide, I will brief shortly about Korea Cambodia, about our team, and shortly about the plastic waste. And about the detail of the plastic waste to the ocean, we will talk in the questionnaire here. So please for the next slide. Yes. First, I want to present about krill. Krill in Cambodia name. In English, we call Ceroscrans is a rare animal that nearly finished in the earth already. So, but it's very high. It's high about 1.90 or 80 meter. Yeah, maybe higher than someone. But anyway, it's nearly finished. So our Clear Cambodia team, we cleared about 3 years already. So we work on environment. So please, for the next slide, maybe my slide it can be fast. Yeah. So our vision is one vision only, is need to make people live in the good environment. Need to educate them to use the plastic or keep the rabbits away. Yeah, just like this. But we will take this vision to do the implement about 5 years. Yeah, thank you. So here's our action. We do a lot. And right now we have team about over 1,000 member already. So and then after COVID become better in Cambodia, we will start the action again and start to increase our member more and more. I think to do the environment work, to do the plastic problem, to show that we need team. We cannot hurt only one ourselves. Something like we much angry on plastic waste. We much angry on the pollution, land pollution, air pollution, but we cannot do like that alone. We need to gathering team in Cambodia. At least I don't know how much how many people in Indonesia, but for Cambodia, I estimate about 50,000 to 200,000 member in environment team, and then we can gathering make one big voice to the social, and then we can start to do something like change, but step by step we need to change their attitude, their behavior, their living style, living standards, something like that. But for the big impacts to the social, we need a big team as well. So for the next slide. Next slide and next slide. Yeah, so one more slide. Yeah, and what, yeah. Back, please, sorry. One more. Yeah. So he is one of actor, something we say our hero. So Cambodia want to solve a problem, and we create one hero for the Cambodian. But right now it's under process. We start to draw the sorry, my English is not very well, so so we start to draw the kind of the actor. So we have two of the hero. We call king and queen, and king and queen, they combine together to kill the plastic diamond, a plastic monster, to kill the plastic monster. And then by this process, we have the strategy to mobilize this hero to be the hero of kid, something like kid, mostly like cartoon. So this is the one of strategy that we can talk to the old people, because to educate the social, we need to educate three kinds of people. The first is the old people. The second is youth. I mean adult, and the last one is a kid. So start from the kid. To the old people, very easy to talk, but not easy to do the implementation. They not easy to take the action. When we talk about the environment project, we talk about the thing about plastic, they will say yes, they love the idea, but their living maybe not change. But for the youth, maybe is a little bit more easy. But for the kid, much more easy. But kids not only much more easy, is the really good indicator, really good one of our teamwork that can change all people. Something like this of hero style, and then we will reuse of the clothes, something like clothes, but the clothes like in the picture, and then we can we can sell to the kid, and then they can wearing the hero dress. So after they dress up, they will become a hero. So after that, they can talk to their parents, something like they have the plastic, they cry when their parents use plastic, something like that. So the old people, maybe they don't care much about plastic, but they think about their children. So then they will start to change their habit to think before they use plastic because of their children. Yeah. Here is one of the plastic problem in Cambodia. They had plastic. This very good picture. Yeah. For next slide, please. Yeah, one more slide. In Cambodia, right now, this is the situation in the Mekong River. So it's not, I think the plastic maybe not come from only Cambodia, because the Mekong is come along the river, something like from China, Laos, Vietnam, and then Cambodia. So country by country, people by people together, and then we have the region like this. So I don't talk much about the problem. I just share some photo that you can see, and then you can feel about it. So you happy to get it or not happy, that's your choice. After that, you can take the action, because what we can say, what we can know, that's the thing, the first step. But the second is action. I want actions better than talk. But I need to show you like this to let you know that currently the situation of plastics is start to get a big problem. Not only the rich country or developed country, even though the poor or developing country also like that. Yes. So as the doctor said previous time, then we will no fish, no food in the sea, in the water to eat. Yes. Please next slide. Yeah, yeah. Next slide. Next slide. So here, what are the solutions? We have a lot of solutions. I also have some solution, but firstly, I want to show one solution in Cambodia that it works, but cannot work for a long time. I think this idea is change plastic to rice. Some poor people or some people in the remote area or around the Tonle Sap or around the river, around the ocean, some of them, they like to clean and get the plastic to exchange to change the rice. This is the very good idea that works in Cambodia right now, but it's not cannot keep it for a long time, like less than 1 year or at least 3 years, cannot more than 1 year, cannot more than 3 years. If not, people mindset will think that need to change something before they clean, before they protect the environment. So by the way, we just do the action that hurry up to clean environment, to take out plastic from the ocean, from the river. But one more important action is education. Yes, for next slide. So that's all my slide. All other thing I need to answer in the question. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ho Chae-ngon. And okay, and the next, I have one question to ask Mr. I heard from some problem about plastic in Cambodia. Your activity active for the solution of the plastic problem, but in this situation, I think how the NGO or the government should do or should be involved in the plastic solution, or if they can join, how can they do it?
Yeah.
You think NGO or government should be involved in the plastic issue or plastic solution?
They should not involve. They must involve. Because we cannot say should, and everyone also cannot say should.
And how can they should?
We have 3 sectors right now to do the well involved on the plastic and about environment as well. The first about government, by the environment ministry, they need to not do alone. Sometimes they do alone, and that is one strategy. But for my idea, the better strategy, we need to get some one or other team involved in something like NGO, the government by themselves, because the government staff, a lot of government bigger than other company like the Cambodia's like the government staff. And one more thing, government need to create a lot of opportunity to make use to implement, to join the program. And then because government is more easy, like make opportunity, pay some money for the reward, and make the just go in and make create a team and do some project up to the problem, the bigger problem, the smallest problem, something like that. So is the one thing that government need to do, because just I know that just very willing to do it. It's not a small action, very big action. If government start to give the chance, opportunity to the youth, and then the voice of the youth very big, come very fast, come very fast. You cannot hear me? What? You can hear me well, right?
Okay, okay.
So I continue. So
Yeah, okay.
say right now, I just start a gathering for the first year, but we do only 1 month. We are not NGO. We just team that love environment, and we can gathering about 2,000 people for 1 month, for 1 month only. So this is very big action to gathering volunteer to gathering just to join with the environment action, and then we can make any happy action for the youth. Then they will remember and join us. So this is very good for the government. For the NGO, they have some budget, they have connection together. So right now, NGO also work very well on the environment. I see something like they create some program to let the youth join. So right now, also a lot of youth in Cambodia join with the NGO to engage with the activity of environment and reduce plastic with the 4R or 5R, something like that. And one more thing, the last sector, the last team that need to involve on the environment, on the plastic. Youth. If you cannot make team, do by yourself. Don't care. Something like I don't know how to join with other people, so you do alone. But if you can create team, don't do alone if you have choice. Because if you hurt alone, you do alone. Also, you much tired alone. Something like crazy people. You look around yourself, and then most people they just threw away, and you come to tell them something like that, no effective. So gathering team, and then start to make big voice. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Changun. And I want have question. How about the? Do you think what are the importance of the youth activity in plastic issue? Or how do you think?
I don't understand the question. Can you make it more easy?
Yeah, I know. Youth activity are very important in the environmental issue. And how do you think? What are the importance of this activity for the youth?
The activity.
Yes.
The first, use eco-friendly product, but maybe not easy to use because of the two problem. Something like price a little bit high, and where to buy it maybe not much easy. But anyway, we need to use something like eco product. Try to use it, and if you love environment, I think just save some money and buy it. I say like that because most of the just cannot buy the environment product easily. But if you don't have money, don't have much money, you can come to me, and then I will sell you very cheap. I can say that because I am own production of the this product. Actually, we have some import from China, from other country. But for the some engraving artwork like that, we do by ourselves. You can put your photo, something like that, on the product. So then you will feel more in love and use more product, use more environment like eco-friendly product in your daily life. So this is the first one. By here, if I say again, if you want the product cheap, you can come to me. And one more thing, if you have some event or the environment event or education event, you can come to me to ask the sponsor. I will give you for free. But the amount we can check together how many that I can provide, because we are not a big company, we just small team. But anyway, we work for environment, we sell for environment, we get benefit, and then we share our benefit to environment bank. So everyone in our discussion or who that watching us can apply and get. So the first one for the youth, they can help environment about the plastic by use eco-friendly product. Second one, educate other people. So to do the educate other people, maybe your daily life, you just take photo or video of your daily life, or your action, your habit, and then it can be inspire other people as well also. And you need to have chance to join with other program, environment program, plastic program, to show about your activity, to share, to make motivation, to inspire for other people. And then the last one, you can join other program, step by step, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chayangon, for your great idea and sharing in your session. And the next, I would like to invite Mr. Yuri Romero for your presentation in your session. Welcome, Mr.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the whole youth from Cambodia and Indonesia for allowing me to speak to you guys. Thank you also to Ruang International, and thank you to my fellow speakers, which are delivering awesome and interesting presentation. Let me talk a little bit about myself before to move forward the presentation, because you might be wondering, there is not a native Asian speaking to you now. I am originally from Cuba. I'm Cuban, and I came to Indonesia in 2007 with a multinational company in what is one of my first professional fields of development, which is a maritime archaeology. So as a maritime archaeologist, I have been working about 30 years offshore, working in the sea, diving, and I have actually witnessed by myself the decay, the evolution, or actually involution of the healthiness of our ocean and seas. I've seen pollution growing. I have seen the coral system getting sick and dying. I've seen mangrove forests getting polluted and dying. So in just my lifetime period, which is my professional lifetime period, which is the 30 years, I have seen a lot of the problem that we are talking today. So it is, as a Dr. Ferdinand previously said, it is a serious problem that we should take very, very consciously, especially the youth, which are, you guys have the strength, you guys have the energy, you guys have the future in your own hands. So that's the reason I am defending somehow Indonesia. As Dr. Ferdinand said, I am very used to be here. I mean, I'm here since 2007, working mostly in the sea. Now I am a retired diver, but I am focused in environmental education. So I used to work with the national organization, NGOs and government as well, to set up and implement environmental education program to actually supporting what I believe personally is the biggest issue here, which is education. So to move forward in my comment later on, I would like you to help me to play the short video the short video first, and later on I will talk based on the visual, and I would like to have some exchange with the fellow speaker and the audience. Please, you can play the video.
Our oceans sustain life. An abundant ocean can feed 1 billion people a healthy meal every day forever. But now they are being killed by throwaway plastics. The equivalent of 1 garbage truck of plastic is dumped in the sea every minute. 17.6 billion pounds every year. Plastic is everywhere in our ocean, floating on the surface, mixing in the salt water, and sitting on the ocean bottom, miles and miles deep. And once in the ocean, it never goes away. Over hundreds of years, it breaks down into small pieces. But those pieces, even the tiny ones called microplastics, are still plastic. Sea turtles are choking on it. Scientists say that over 60% of whale and dolphin species are affected by it. Zooplankton, the base of the ocean food chain, eat it. And so do we. It's in the water we drink. It's in our food. Microplastics have been found in our salt, our honey, and our beer. And sometimes even in the air we breathe. Companies are choosing to make something that will be used just once, from a material that lasts forever. If you don't like what throwaway plastics are already doing to our world, brace yourself. We face a tsunami of throwaway plastic in our and the ocean's future. 4 times more plastic will be produced between now and the middle of the century than has been produced in all of history. 4 times more. What can we do? Recycling? Of all the plastic ever generated as of 2015, only 9% was recycled. Even when it is recycled, plastic degrades. Your plastic soda bottle maybe becomes a shampoo bottle, then a floor mat. Even in the best case, it doesn't recycle, it downcycles. And then it becomes pollution that ruins our beaches and chokes sea animals forever. We should not be forced to pollute the ocean every time we eat, drink, or go shopping. We need to be given a choice. A plastic-free choice. This is not hard to imagine. Indeed, some responsible companies are already leading the way. There are throwaway plastic-free aisles in supermarkets. Beverage companies already offer plastic-free soda and salsa water. Restaurants offer plastic-free service. There are plastic-free rooms in hotels. An airline is now offering a plastic-free flight. And Oceania and our allies are winning plastic-free victories. Following campaigning by Oceania, Peru passed a law that keeps plastic out of national parks and beaches. Belize is getting rid of styrofoam. And the European Union has mandated reductions for throwaway plastic throughout its 28 member countries. But with your help, we can do more. Together, we can create a movement to reduce throwaway plastic. We can make sure we're all given real plastic-free choices. We can help our cities, towns, schools, and workplaces establish zones that are free of throwaway plastic. Let's stop plastic pollution from wrecking our beaches and our oceans, and have healthy oceans. that delight and sustain us for generations to come. Please join our campaign. Go to oceana.org/plastics today.
Well, hello? Yep. We are back.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you see, we have actually plenty of those material in YouTube. I mean, there is nothing in particular for me to be choosing this, which is already from Oceania International Organization, but there is plenty of material, audiovisual, which are so graphic, so clear about how bad the situation is in terms of plastic pollution in the oceans. And you can find them, you can explore them, you can find a lot of data, you can find a lot of shocking fact about the issue. As I told you before, I mean, since 2007, I'm here in Indonesia, and before to get into Indonesia, I had the opportunity to work worldwide and to stay in other countries, and in the same field of maritime research. And Indonesia is obviously a huge challenge, and Ferdinand might agree with me that this level of sea pollution in Indonesia is going out of control. And in general, it's not just Indonesia. Perhaps we can talk about the case study of Cambodia later on. But in general, what I see from my perspective, not just as a maritime researcher, but as an anthropologist, I told you before I am archaeologist. From the anthropological point of view, I think what is happening, I mean, it's not a coincidence that the biggest pollutant of the sea, the biggest plastic pollutant of the seas are Asian countries. I mean, China the first, Indonesia the second, later on Philippines, going on. I mean, we are polluting more in Asia than in other part of the world. So it is not a coincidence because it's actually a combination of our educational systems, which are not strong enough, and people are not getting well educated. And I'm talking about the particular of environmental education, which is mostly not in the curriculum of Asian countries, and it just pertains to the domain of extracurricular learning. Environmental education is crucial for our youth and children to understand how important it is to take care and to nurture the environment. But it's not just the issue, which is education is not strong enough, and our population, I mean, the population of Asian countries is mostly very low to medium literacy, but it's also a combination of the culture. I mean, the countries with a high population and the culture of a lot of eating industries, a lot of small restaurants, a lot of it just creating the loop of a very biased consumerism ecosystem. And this consumerism ecosystem is the opportunity for big companies to create more products, which are the ones used in this small gastronomy world of the Asian countries, which is so diverse. For instance, in Jakarta or Bandung or any of the big city in Indonesia, you just walk the streets and every block you can find a small kaki lima. We call those street vendor of food. And every corner you can find warung, which are the small home-based restaurant. And all of them, they are using a lot of styrofoam. All of them, they are using a lot of plastic packaging. All of them, they are using a lot of plastic items, which are so cheap to buy in the market. And they are so appealing for them to provide their meals. I mean, the food they sell. So you see, it is the combination of this no proportional formula, which is education versus consumerism, which is very high in the Asian countries. We know the problem. What is it? So I rather would like to be focused talking about the solutions. I mean, talking about the solution. I heard my fellows speaker before, and we are all facing the same monster. I mean, how can we stop? How can we control that? Because we know we are running out of time. As my fellow speaker said before, I mean, in 2 decades, there will be more plastic than fish in the ocean because we are dumping too much trash and we are overfishing. And it is very important for the youth, which is watching this event, to understand the relation of the human ecosystem approach. Human ecosystem approach is our anthropogenic impact on the natural ecosystem. Natural ecosystem, they do have the capacity to regenerate, to handle certain amount of pollution or certain amount of overexploitation, but need time. This formula is called rate. And I will use now the sample that I think Dr. Ferdinand was talking previously, which is fishing. For example, a tuna fish, I mean, tuna fish, which is so popular worldwide, especially in Asian countries, because we like to eat it raw as well, in sushi, in every form of tuna fish we are running out of tuna fish, actually. Why? Because tuna fish, disregard to other species in the sea, they have a very slow rate of the production. But the rate of fishing is going on and on and on. So we keep fishing tuna so much, so fast, actually faster than the capacity of tuna population has to regenerate. Basically, is a tuna fish has the sexual maturity between 8 to 12 years old, is when he's sexually ready to reproduce and to deliver the eggs. But we are fishing those tunas before the age of 8 years old. I mean, we are fishing the tuna before she has the opportunity to reproduce and to create the next generation of fish. So in that way, it works ecosystem. Ecosystems are naturally regenerative, but need time. And the rate of overaction, overdevelopment, impacted ecosystem is breaking over this rate. That's the biggest issue we have with taking natural resources or dumping to ecosystem pollution. So solution is basically, as I mentioned before, education. We need more education, but we have a challenge with education. Education has a timing. Education needs times. I mean, in order to prepare a generation of well-educated people, warriors like you guys, want to be the warriors of for the Asian ocean and environment. But we need time to work together, and every single day counts. So education is obviously the foundation, is the cornerstone to prepare people to understand the issue and to be more responsible, taking action. But the fastest solution, in fact, is regulation. Yeah, is regulation. In my perspective as a social anthropologist and environmentalist, there is a 3 component or 3 pillars which are the foundation of sustainable development, which is education, which is regulation, the second one, and infrastructure. And we have done that before, so successful. And I used to bring on simple, quite common example, especially for Asian countries. It's quite common in Asia to see people in motorbikes. Motorbikers, and Asian countries are worldwide famous to have a huge amount of motorbikes in the streets. Okay, we said motorbikes can be dangerous if you are not concerned about safety. And then, okay, we have a problem of safety in motorbike. We should educate people about safety. Well, once again, it will take time for people to be conscious enough and understand that it's actually about to protect themselves, because they are lazy, they don't understand, they are not well educated, so they don't want to use the helm, right? But if we enforce regulation and we put those police every corner in the city, everybody's using the helm. It's not because they understood the problem, it's because they are afraid about the regulation. So you see, by the regulation, you are creating a shortcut to target the problem right now. because what we don't want is people dying because they fell down off the motorbike without helmet, and then they have a serious injury. So the regulation can save life when it's about motorbike. And the infrastructure, which is the third pillar, is okay, do we have enough helmet for everybody? So we cannot create the regulation. You cannot take time in educating people if at the end there is not enough helmet for every single motorbike rider to put on their head. So you see the combination of these three pillars, once again, education, regulation, and infrastructure. For me, the one which is coming to this very moment, which is the most critical point that we have with the ecosystem collapsing and climate change and all the issues that we are facing with pollution, is regulation. We need more political will. We need more serious decision maker, and we need more pushing harder the business sector to take the issue more serious, because at the end, everybody will be affected. Business side is still taking the advantage of the lack of political will or the lack of regulation. But business side is actually bombing their own way. I mean, there is no winner here. There is no cheating here. There is no bluff here. If we don't take action together, if you are not speeding up the design and implementation of solution, we are going to kill ourselves. 70% of the population of the world depend on fisheries. 70% of the population of the world depend on fisheries. And if we are running out of fish because of the overfishing and plastic pollution, there will be a lot of famine, a lot of people in hunger. We are producing an average of 300 million tons of plastic every year. 300 million tons of plastic every year. And our capacity to recycling is just 14%. The physical, the real capacity for recycling today is just 14% of this amount. So you see, there is a huge remaining amount of plastic which is going nowhere. Where? It's going to the ocean. And 50% of this whole plastic pollution per year is single-use plastic. And I want to make a parenthesis here. I mean, single-use plastic is the biggest enemy in plastic pollution because it's have a short lifespan. I mean, single-use plastic is used an average of just 12 to 15 minutes. Later on, it's dumped. And when it's dumped, it's very difficult to recycle. And more of the single-use plastic are not recyclable. Even though they are, it's costly. So solutions, once again, the practical solution should be get rid of single-use plastic. As my fellow speaker in Cambodia said, yeah, create local product, eco-friendly product, and motivate the people to use them. Educate the people to use them, create the bonus or subsidies for people to use them. Work with the business sector. We should not fight the business sector. We should work together with the business sector. We should not accept the bluffing. Coca-Cola is the biggest plastic pollutant in the world. I don't see Coca-Cola doing enough. They are polluting a lot and they are subsidizing some even about the environment. But no people are pushing them harder to change the technology and to produce Coca-Cola in a different way in order to mitigate the impact of Coca-Cola bottles in the environment. Like this, once again, we need to combine these three pillars, my friends. We need to combine education, we need to combine regulation, and we need to combine infrastructure. That's what I believe. And I would love to talk about that with the audience and my fellow speakers. That is all from my side, and I open to the interaction with the audience.
Okay, you finished, right?
Yeah, yeah, I am done. It is just a trigger in the discussion later on, right?
Okay, thank you, Mr. And we hope all participants can get more knowledge from the plastic solution and some knowledge from you when you're sharing about your perspective and solution in the plastic issues. And I have one question about the plastic solution, plastic issues. According to UNDP 2020, mentioned that around 13 million tons of plastic flow in the ocean every year. And how do you think? Do you think it is a large of number plastic solution that affected to the marine biodiversity?
It is obviously. I mean, there is a short story I would like to share with you guys for you to understand why I am here today fighting for Indonesian oceans and environmental conservation. I told you I came to Indonesia in 2007, and in 2012 I was sailing. I was crossing with my researching ship from Jakarta to Africa, particularly to Mozambique, the country in Africa. And I was crossing the Indian Ocean, 35 days crossing the ocean. I have witnessed by myself the pollution in the ocean. But before to get into the Indian Ocean, I was crossing for Sunda Strait. Well, maybe you are familiar with the name of the volcano Krakatau. Yeah, volcano Krakatau, the famous volcano in Indonesia. And it's a beautiful landscape there. And there is a strait where meeting the Java Sea and the Indian Ocean, the strong current there. And as an explorer, I said, I would like to jump to the water. And I later I can share with my friend, I was diving underneath of Krakatau. And then I did. I got my diving gear and then I jumped to the water. That was 2012, once again. And when I jumped to the water, I couldn't see anything. Why? Because of plastic pollution. It was like a milkshake of plastic. Bigger, small, colorful milkshake. I couldn't see 1 meter away because I was swimming in this volume of plastic around. I mean, that time I said, damn, I have to get back to Indonesia and I have to do something else. I mean, something. I just joined joining the big army fighting for the marine conservation and environmental conservation in Indonesia. It was quite shocking for me, the image. Working so long in the sea, I haven't seen this level of pollution I saw in 2012 in this particular spot. Since then, I have been focused in environmental education in Indonesia. And I tell you, it's so powerful when people can experience the problem. That's why it's important that we take the youth, we take the children to witness the problem. That's why it's so important the participatory approach in education. We cannot educate about environment without to be into the environment. We should bring the children and the youth to clean up the beach, to see the amount of trash which is going to the beach. We should clean the children and the youth to see how polluting our river, to see that there is a plastic trash in the top of the mountains. So we need people to see, to touch, and to feel the pain of that. And obviously we create character for people to be more responsible. The plastic pollution in the ocean is serious, is affecting the marine ecosystem in a very bad way. And if we don't take action quickly together with other environmental issues we are facing, like climate change, we are running out of time for food security and ecological collapse issues. So I think it's indeed very important for people to take this issue serious.
Okay, so thank you for your great sharing about your opinion to the audience. And the next session we have participant time to join our Q&A. I would like to mention that all participants can have a question for us. All the speakers that they have answer for all of you, and you have mentioned name of speaker that you want to ask, and you would like to introduce yourself first. After that, you can ask the speaker about your question. Hello, participant. Have you any question? You can ask the speaker that you want. You can open your video and discuss together. Anyone have any question?
I have seen some question in the chat session. Perhaps if they are a little bit shy to talk directly, maybe you can see the chat session. Yeah.
Okay. The first question I would like deliver to Mr. Go Chae-ngun.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. I cannot see the questioner, but he said or he asked about how long the influencer in Indonesia and Cambodia take for the role for promoting society awareness about the issue. Maybe he want to focus on the plastic issue. Have an answer?
Yeah.
This
Very short
this
answer.
question,
At least 7
question.
years.
Okay. This question delivered to Mr. Chae-ngun and Mr. Yuri.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I go very shortly first.
Yeah. You can first. You can first.
At least in Cambodia, about 7 years. Not only one influencer, about 3 to 5 influencer that we work on this. They said that sometimes they are very tired and they like something like still want to do it, but the feelings much down because of the effort, much doing, but small result because of the affective or the people that they join, I mean, less than what they think, but what they want. Yeah, just like that. So this is one result that I want to bring you here. And I think not only influencer that they work around 70 already, but like the minister of environment or some NGO also they work very hard on this area. We need to join together. We need to combine together to make things move, to make things grow. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Yuri, you have an idea to share?
Yes, I am perhaps not less optimist, but more pragmatic than Mr. Sheragon. In my estimation, if I am not wrong, the question was how long will it take for us to target the issue of plastic pollution? Well, I think if we go once again, if we go to the analysis based on education, it will take 1 generation for us to produce the new coming generation of better educated individuals who can be more responsible to handle their consumption habit, to handle the waste management at domestic level. So we know that the basic is education, but once again, education will take so long. If it's basic in education, will take 1 generation, 30 years for the next generation to come better educated. But if we go to the shortcut, which I mentioned in my presentation, I said education have the power to change things instantaneously because has the legal component, and people do not want to break the law. People do not want to get into trouble. So if we enforce regulation, which are comprehensive and easy to take over, to target the issue of pollution, and in the other hand, we have a good infrastructural support, like a waste management system, because we go back to the analogy of the helmet. Regulation exists and people are using the helmet to ride the motorbike, but the helmets are out there, are affordable to buy. If they are expensive, if there is no helmet, you cannot regulate about the helmet use. So waste management is the same thing. Waste management, we need to create an infrastructure which is economically affordable to handle the waste that we are producing at domestic level. We need to work with the business sector as well to reduce the amount of plastic they are producing or to create a technological alternative. And meanwhile, we regulate. We enforce regulation that say you cannot, for example, to the business sector, you cannot produce single-use plastic again. So they should produce plastic which are reusable, or you can repurpose those plastic later. We can use out of the domain of the business sector to the population. To the population, you cannot dump plastic mixed with the organic, which is one of the issues we have for some. I mean, Dr. Ferdinand was talking about Van Targebang. Van Targebang is a very common case study for myself because I have done some project there. Van Targebang is the biggest open landfill in Southeast Asia. 118 hectares of open landfill. It's a huge, there are mountains of garbage. And as he mentioned, we are running out of capacity for Jakarta to bring waste there. Jakarta is producing 7,500 metric tons per day of waste. If we put that, once again, if we put that number growing per day, what we need to change the paradigm, what we need to tackle the issue is regulation first. And then back up in the regulation is going the infrastructure and obviously the education, which is the one who made the change in the long term. When people are educated, you don't need nobody to tell you what you should do because you already know. But first, regulation is my opinion about that. Hello. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, thank you for your good answer to the participant. And one question move to Mr. Mr. Yuri, and can you open for your answer to participant? He asked about how about the government policy in Cuba to take it or handle these issues. Are you clear answer? Are you clear question?
Just could you tell me again? There is a problem with the signal. Could you just repeat, please?
Question about how about the government policy in Cuba to take this or handle this issue? They want to focus on
in Cuba, in my country.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate very much the question. I mean, even though we are talking to empower the youth of Indonesia and Cambodia, is very important to contextualize the issue globally, right? And in my case, I mean, I'm coming from a country which is a developing country as well, but which is a developing country, let's say, with a particularity that even though economically we are not as strong at all, but we have a good baseline of education. And people in Cuba are mostly well educated, and in terms of environmental education, we are also quite solid. So people can understand the issue more clearly. But once again, I mentioned Cuba economically is not strong at all. Cuba is a country, I don't know if you are aware about the economy and politics in Cuba, Cuba is still under the control of the economic embargo and blockade from United States. So there is very few imports which are coming to Cuba, and economical issues and in Cuba are quite hard to face. And consumerism, there is no consumerism at all because because there is not much to consume. So you see, we are having a completely different approach into the problem. In one side, there are people well educated, but also we are not producing much trash because of the lack of import and investment in the country. So there is not this amount of snacks and processed food and packaging and butters and stuff. No, there is very few of that things. I mean, very few when we compare with the rest of the world, when we compare with Asian country, as I mentioned before, which is pretty much cultural, the overconsumption or the consumerism. But in Cuba, consumerism is very limited because of the scarcity, the economic scarcity. And on the other hand, is the good education. So regulation are there, but even though there is not strong regulation or strong enforcement, it's working well because we don't have a serious issue with waste management in Cuba so far. Plastic pollution in Cuba is not a serious problem yet.
Okay, thank you. And one question delivered to Dr. Wadinan. Are you ready? Okay, maybe about question. How about the Indonesian government implement in their forest policy to take a road and read this issue, especially in Southeast Asia region?
Okay.
Did you want? Yeah.
Thank you, Navi.
Okay, sir.
A very good question regarding Indonesian foreign policy regarding issue of plastic waste. Indonesian government has worked together with East Asian countries in the organization of East Asian Summit, EAS, 2020, last year. There are already a declaration to ban, to fight against plastic waste in the ocean. So yes, there are already diplomacy, serious, there's already implementation of environmental diplomacy in the issue of plastic waste. But I think, Navi, if I have the chance, it's very interesting to respond from Pak Yuri Romero regarding the cooperation between business, regulation, and infrastructure. I really agree with that. And I actually want to criticize myself from the perspective of institution of education, from the university perspective. We already know that Indonesian government now have in Campus Merdeka, but I don't know, the translation is not so good. Yeah, Campus Merdeka, Merdeka Belajar. Yeah, it is a program from the Minister of Education to give the freedom for students to choose their education outside the campus. So if my student want to initiate a project on plastic waste, they will receive curriculum credit from the university after they finish the project. Actually, this is a very good idea. But the problem again is about the implementation. The problem is about the seriousness, the commitment from the university leaders, from the university lecturers. How serious, how focused the leaders of the university, the lecturers, to implement, to push the students to bring real engagement in the society. Students can be innovators, students can become teachers for the society, university students can become, can make recommendation papers. Actually, there are so many things can be done by the university students. But the problem right now is that still old mindset that we don't need to change, we don't need to reform our habit. We don't need to bring new ideas in the education sector. So I think without any real and serious commitment from the university, from the business communities, from the political society, Indonesian foreign policy on plastic waste will be ineffective. Indonesian commitment and declaration will be just a rhetoric without any real change. And I really agree that we are running out of time. We are running out of time, and one day is really, really important. So for me, Nave, I think it's very important for every one of us to bring a real solution and implement the solution into the society. It's just not for words, and it's not just rhetoric. We should bring a real change. And I'm part of the environmental community in UKI, and we visit many island around Jakarta, and the destruction is very real, as also this illustrated by Pak Yuri. The problem of waste. They don't have any waste management system in the island. They don't have it, so they just put the waste in the ocean. So why there are so many plastic waste in the ocean? Because there are many island inhabitants don't have that waste management system, and it is we have to bring an effective waste management system in the island, such as in Kepulauan Seribu, Pulau Pramuka, or Pulau Panggang. Do you know, Nave? In Jakarta, we have the most populated island in the world, that is Pulau Panggang. It's very, very populated. And you can imagine the impact on the waste. When every people produce waste and there's no such thing as waste management system. So they make the waste into the ocean. So this is a very big challenge for us, for the university, for the business community, to bring a real change. Yeah, and I really want to say that one more thing that should be done is to focus. Indonesian government need to focus. What is the strategy? ASEAN should focus. University leaders should focus. Business community should focus. Without any focus, we are just, spending the time to talk. We are not walking the talk. We're just talking and talking and talking. There's no such real change. So we need to focus. For example, we want to focus on the implementation of bank sampah or waste bank. Okay, how many waste bank we can implement in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? We want to implement, for example, seaweed plastic. We make plastic from seaweed. There is one innovation from young guy from Indonesia, so we can have plastic from seaweed. Okay, how many factories we can make? So we need to focus. What kind of strategy? And we focus, and we have to track the progress in every policy. In that way, I believe we can prevent the disastrous impact of the plastic waste in the ocean. And one thing I want to highlight, one example from Pak Yuri is Coca-Cola. How much profit Coca-Cola earn from their plastic production? Actually, Coca-Cola is not producing the Cokes, but they are producing the plastic. With the plastic, actually, they can sell thousands and millions of bottles every day. So actually, without plastic, Coca-Cola will not a big brand like now. Now, actually, Coca-Cola earn a lot of debt to the nature. The question is, are we serious to ask to pay the debt? The Coca-Cola pay the debt? No. We'll just keep drinking Coca-Cola without thinking that actually we have to pay the debt of the plastic waste in the ocean. It's one brand, Coca-Cola, and we have more brand. Actually, if we have time to highlight all those brands. So that's, Navi, my answer. So for me, cooperation between business, education, and government, and we need to be focused and serious regarding the change strategy and change policy that we want. Thank you, Navi.
Thank you, Doctor, for your fruitful answer sharing. And maybe I think the time is limited, but we have, I think we can have 2 questions to Mr. Chai Ngun. Are you ready?
Yeah,
I think maybe audience from Cambodia, because she want to know how to join. She's named Kunrut. She asked how to join in Grill Cambodia team.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. That very easy question, right? And also very short. But before I answer the question, I would like to answer one question that they concerned in the chat. They said that cannot change the, I cannot turn the plastic to the rice. Yes, no turn plastic to the rice. It just change in that the people that live in the remote area or the around the project area, they can collect the plastic and then they go to the community and get the rice back. So the community can use the plastic to reproduce something like that. Yes, just like that. So back the question, how to join the career team. So you can go to Telegram. So Telegram, you can write environment family. So more easy, yeah, environment family. Then you will see our group. So then you can join, and all the environment activity, environment plan, we will post in the Telegram group. And one more, you can go to the Facebook. You can type like Career Cambodia, search in Cambodia word, and then or in English word the same. You will can like our page, something like that. So we have a lot of project. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mr. Organizer, for time right now, you can continue, or time limit right now. Mr. Chenny? Mr. Chenny? Mr. Chenny, are you hear me?
He answered in the chat that we have 15 more minutes.
Okay, so we have 15 minutes. Okay, because I have many questions to ask and long question. Wait for. Okay, the question for delivered to, I think, to Dr. Wadinen and Mr. Yuri from Rika Padi. He asked, what is the responsibility of industrialized countries, especially European countries, to the impact of plastic waste in developing countries? You got question?
Yeah, I got the question. Maybe Dr. Ferdinand wants to start first.
Okay, first, you can first.
I can go first.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, please, you first.
Thank you. So actually, this is my opinion, yeah, my opinion. Rizka asking my opinion. In my opinion, industrialized country, European countries have to assist and help developing countries. They must help developing countries. Now the question is, what kind of assistance should be given, and how much assistance should be given? This is a very tricky statement. Usually developed countries, they say, yes, we help, but we are not talking how much. Now, in one seminar, I have a suggestion to make developed countries create special tax for citizens of European countries and first world countries, a tax for developing countries. They have to pay for every inch of our forest that has been protected from this tax. So they have to pay for every inch of our sea that has been protected. We know, guys, yeah, we know what is the problem, why there are so many deforestation, forest fires, illegal fishing, extra overfishing, because economic problems. There are people who are unemployed. There are poverty. There are the problem of the problem of urbanization. So the question is about the economy. So the solution, if the European country is very serious, they should set up a disbursement of tax from the first world countries, from rich countries to the developing countries, in my opinion. In that way, we will be very, very serious in fighting against the problem of ocean waste, plastic waste, and deforestation and forest fire, and so on and so forth. Yeah. What happened right now is Nafe and Payuri is business as usual. As usual, we don't have any innovation breakthrough or whatsoever in terms of governance and regulation. We don't have any innovation. Yeah, Paris Agreement that is just making a forum, yeah, that every country can set up their commitment, and European countries didn't set up an ambitious commitment. It's just a business as usual. Yeah, so I think it's not fair. It's not fair if European countries asking a lot of commitment from poor countries and developing countries if they don't provide enough and substantial. It's not fair. Yeah, because we are not assisted, because they don't provide any scheme that can be accessed by us for this kind of program. What happened now is we are independent. We are using our own resources to fight the problem of plastic waste. Yeah, we are working with Indonesian companies. We are working with Indonesian universities. We are working with Indonesian researchers. There's no such as international assistance. Yeah, so it is a business as usual. There's no such innovation. So I'm not saying I'm pessimistic. I'm still optimistic. But in regards to the commitment from developed countries, hopeless. Thank you, Navi.
Well, I would like to go right after the Dr. Ferdinand, and he just bring to light one particular term or definition, which is quite common in the arena of the climate change, which is a business as usual. And you know, my friend, that we are not living in usual conditions. So I always wondering, how come you can keep running things as usual when the situation is so unusual? So we know it is political things, you know, it is political bias, and it's quite difficult to really bring to solution. But once again, there is no winner here, there is no cheater here. And that's why take me to the reflection to support your analysis. Obviously, developing countries, not just European countries, I mean, the United States, Canada, some Asian countries which are already developed, should support the developing countries and should support the poorest to move forward. It is called, in the ecosystem language, it is called interdependence. We cannot survive without the other. We cannot say it is their problem, they are just poor, because at the end it's going back to them and it's affecting to them. So there is obviously a social and environmental responsibility from developing countries to from developed countries to developing countries. What is happening is that Dr. Ferdinand, and perhaps you agree with me, that there is much of this help going on. Or what is happening also that we are not getting to the point. You mentioned before we are lack of consistency, we are lack of being focused to target the issue. And unfortunately also, we have internal issues as corruption, and sometimes this international aid and financial support is not getting to the point that should get. The dynamic globally today to target environmental issues are existing. The flow of those dynamics are so slow, and the problem are going faster than the solution. That is actually my concerning. I am as optimist as you are, Dr. Ferdinand, but with a big concern from my own kids. I mean, the legacy of my kids is not the one I was wishing for them. So that's why it made me stronger to keep fighting for a better future. It's not easy to let them living in the world which is getting harder to live, which is being troubled because of food security, because of climate change, and because of pollution. But we need to keep pushing, my friend. That's our mission.
Okay, thank you very much for our sharing, our discussion together as well. And this time we have the time limit, and I hope all the participants or our program get more knowledge from the plastic solution and plastic principle to reduce of the plastic in the ocean. And before we close the remark, we have the photo session, and I pass the session to Mr. Chen Li. He is organizer for this our webinar.
Okay, thank you, Brother Nafi. Okay, I invite all the participants to turn on the video, and we take a photo session together. Okay. Yeah. Maybe other participants, Mira, Yongbai, or Seong, Moy, Rizky, Keshan, Muhammad Jamal can join us to take a conversation. Okay. Yeah. Give your best smile, guys. 3, 2, 1. Again. Three, two, one. Plus. Okay. Wait. We take a position with all the speakers and moderator. So please wait for a moment. Okay, turn on your video and we can take a photo session. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Again, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you so much. And then I'm Jian Li on behalf of Ruang International. Would like to thank you very much for all the participants. As we know, the topic that we have discussed in this webinar, webinar about the plastic waste in the ocean. This is an education and increases our knowledge about the plastic waste. It doesn't be like when we are finished. I want to say thank you again for all participants, all speakers, to the moderator can facilitate us to joining the grateful discussion. And for information to all the participants and also to all the speakers, we will send the e-certificate to your email, and we will contact you later in this week. Thank you.
Thanks to you all.
Thank you, Mr. Ferdinand. Thank you, Mr. Yuri. Thank you, Mr. Sanghor. Thank you, moderator.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
See you again.
Bye-bye. Let's keep in touch. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.